it wasn't really a news story, but Natalie Portman made a post very recently indicating officially, that Jane may indeed have cancer in the Thor Love and Thunder plot, which is something a lot of people suspected already, but she seems to have pretty much confirmed that. So, where do you guys think that is going? Does it guarantee her death? And how does she wind up getting the power of Thor? Who wants to take it first? Max, you got any thoughts? No? Biz?
Uh, I have no idea. I really don't know where they're going to go with that. Cancer, I mean, like, hmm, no
I'm not
idea.
sure it changes. I mean, the Love and Thunder plot was going to be there anyway, even with the cancer. Does it actually change anything? Is that darker than they've been going? I don't really think so. They killed half the universe. I mean, I don't know where this changes anything for it particularly, other than putting a threat or a shortness to her life that otherwise wasn't necessarily there.
Yeah, I think so. I think first and foremost, if that's like a big story, and we're considering that there may be a high likelihood that she dies, because there were a lot of people that were kind of jumping on the idea that Jane's taking over. It's suddenly going to be Jane's series. Maybe Chris Hemsworth was leaving. Who knows? But I actually never thought that was the case. The moment I heard it, I figured it was probably more of a one and done sort of story, or maybe she'd stick around. But I never thought for a second Natalie Portman was suddenly going to have a trilogy of Thor films. Um, I don't know. I feel like sometimes that's one of those things that people overreact to. They hear something and they're like, "Oh, Natalie Portman's gonna have a trilogy of Thor films." It seemed like they were probably going with this to begin with for me. Welbers, what do you think?
Well, I also don't think she will get a trilogy of Thor films. Absolutely not. Um, but the cancer, yeah. There was some chatter on Twitter this week about this cancer storyline, and that they were fearing that Taika would make jokes about it or something. I don't think that will happen. I think it's a one-off movie. Hemsworth has said that he is not done playing Thor even after Thor: Love and Thunder. I No, maybe even Jane dies at the end. I mean, Natalie Portman, Marvel Studios, they have not had the best relationship during the years. She did have another movie on her contract, so I think this is just a way to finish up that storyline. And Natalie being able to come back to Marvel Studios to actually do this movie, because I think she was not. They were not in a good place when Thor Ragnarok was filmed. So I think this is a way to properly end this, and it will be a Taika movie, just like Ragnarok, and it will be amazingly fun. I mean, the Guardians are in there, probably only in the beginning, but they will. So yeah, this has the potential of being a very, 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 very fun movie. And the cancer will not make it like a completely dark, because basically that's not Taika. And you can say that Thor Ragnarok was actually quite dark if you look at it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they destroyed everything. His hammer. He lost his father. He lost Asgard. I mean, it was quite a dark movie. Only it doesn't feel like it at all. And I think that will be the case for Thor: Love and Thunder as well. And how Jane will get the power of Thor, I don't know. I'm not really up to speed on that comic book storyline actually, so I can't say anything about that.
Max, what do you got?
The curious thing for me on that is it's all perspective based. Like, from the human perspective, the cancer diagnosis is of course terrible, but from the Asgardian perspective, there's almost no difference between Jane dying of cancer and Jane dying 30 years from now of old age. So, like, from his side, it's very, very negligible difference. He knew she was going to die at some point, and here it comes.
Yeah,
That's actually a really good point. I mean, because yeah, if you live 4,000 years, what's 20 years of human life? It's a weird perspective that they haven't really touched on too much, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that definitely doesn't change. It doesn't seem to change much for him. So
It has been foreshadowed. I think in the Dark World.
that she was going to get.
That Thor lives very long and Jane will die soon. I think that has been that Loki has been saying that to Thor. I think in the Dark World, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's why that's such a good movie, man. That's why that's such a good movie.
I don't hate it.
So no, you're totally right.
Cool.
Loki actually warns him again, warns Thor directly in that movie about a relationship with Jane specifically because of that. So you're totally right, Wells. The idea that I had, and I really don't love speculating on movies because I hate getting married to the ideas, but I kept thinking like, how the heck does she wind up getting this power? And I can only imagine like there's like an opening of the movie almost similar to Guardians 1 where Peter sees his mom dying of cancer. Not quite that grim, but like maybe Jane realizing she has it. Maybe we don't know as an audience what's going on, but she like journeys to New Asgard or something like that to see if they can help her. Actually, Max brought up an idea the other day that maybe the precipitating cause of it was the fact that she had the Aether for a while. That was Max's idea. I don't claim that one, but that was a good one. The fact that she had that may have led to this. So
it makes sense actually.
Right. Yeah. So that would tie into it. I don't know if that's the case, but I mean, it would. It's a connection there. So that would be interesting. And then she goes there, and the fact that she's there trying to get help for that is what lets her, I don't know, pick up a hammer. I don't know where Mjolnir's coming from exactly again, but
the thing is, Captain America was able to lift the hammer, and so was Vision.
Right.
So it was just their character, I guess, being worthy to hold the hammer up.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe Thor comes back to help her and deems her worthy and allows her. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but
yeah.
I had this idea that she goes and seeks him out rather than him coming back for her, but I don't know, maybe not. I'm not sure how they're gonna go with that.
But how do we feel about the actual Lady Thor character? Does it take away from Thor, or?
I don't think so at all. In what way? How would you think it takes away from Thor?
Because like Thor, like that's his character. Like he's got his own special powers. He's got his own identity with the hammer, and then you have like a female version. You know what I mean?
I think.
Yeah, but does War Machine take away from Iron Man?
That's a good point too.
Yeah. In my case, my thought on it is they already showed Captain America getting the Thor powers momentarily with the hammer. With that sort of thing, they're showing that with the worthiness, you're able to pick up the power and represent for the time that you're wielding it. It's hard to say that is the same character. It's just the person being worthy to use that at the time. I don't find it to be a takeaway, really. And really, it's just showing that anybody who's worthy can do it and not just, superhero men.
And also that she had presumably, just like Cap, she'd have to be holding the hammer to have that power, whereas Thor just has that power. So it's not not really, and it's all I'm very sure the moment I heard this announcement, I'm still pretty sure that this is like a temporary situation anyway, kind of like Cap. It's to get her through an arc. And I don't know where it's going to end. I don't know if it's going to end with her death, or maybe if they'll miraculously save her and something else will be going on. If I had to bet, I'd say it's probably her death, but we'll. You know what? Another thought: can Thor sustain any more death? Man, that was his whole arc in the last. He's lost everything. Is he gonna lose something else? I don't know.
Yeah, especially at Endgame, where like he just kind of broke down, like mentioning all this, or like everyone that's like death, doom, destruction.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like he's been through the ringer, so like who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but he has found himself after his talk with his mother, and he has evolved beyond his grief now. So maybe he will come from a positive side in this when he finds out Jane has cancer and is dying. Being the hero actually. So yeah.
And speaking of just kind of wrapping this up a little bit, and just going back to your idea of Marvel humor and how they kind of balance that in or surround it with darker moments so that you don't feel the heaviness of that. They're really good at switching back and forth. You just made me think of like so many like Chris Hemsworth moments where like the scene in Infinity War, where he's kind of breaking down to Rocket, and you talking. They're on the ship, they're traveling, and Rocket has that. All right, it's time to be a captain moment.
That's
And
a very powerful scene.
it's incredible, man, and they can switch it like that. They can go from Thor having this lighter personality to him showing this real deep emotion inside of him, and they do that with Taika. James Gunn does it in the Guardians series. They're really good at being able to kind of flip that switch and hit the darker moments, or I shouldn't say darker moments, the more personal, introspective moments, like really well when they need to hit them. So I think I think they'll figure it out. I kind of can't wait to see how they're playing this, but.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because like Taika, I mean, how much further, dark can you go than like he made a movie with Jojo Rabbit, and that was like about Nazis. So, I mean, but does that fit the Marvel brand? Like, I don't know, like it's, who knows, like with Cancer making jokes about that, I can already hear the SJW warriors like, and all that crowd like, oh, you shouldn't do this, so like, but yeah.
Jojo Rabbit. I mean, it was a very funny movie, but there's also a scene that a boy finds his mother hang in the square in the village in there. I mean, it's Taika has this very dark humor, and it gets a little bit absurdistic. And if you don't look beyond the surface, you will say it's all nonsense or just slapstick comedy. But there is always a very deep thing in his movies, and I really like Taika style of making movies. It's fun, but it has always very deep emotion and very powerful messages. And that's Thor: Love and Thunder is one of the movies I anticipate the most, but not in my top 3, as I discussed earlier.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree, and I can't wait to see what they're doing with it. Just moving on a little bit, we're going to, I guess, go ahead and talk about, speaking of dark stuff, we're going to talk about film delays and theater closures. You know what?